when you pray, you are talking to God. When you read the Bible, God is talking to you. So anytime you pick anything to read in the Bible, the first thing you do is to become an alert, because God is about saying something to you. So I want us to be, I'm going to be quiet for the next 2 minutes so you can read, and then you start thinking. You say to yourself, how do I achieve this thing that God just said? And that is how we're going to get into today's practical session. I'm going to be asking questions. So I'm going to be quiet for the next 2 minutes. How do you think you are going to achieve what God is saying in John 15:4? Or what do you understand by it? So I'm going to be quiet now so we can read and meditate. Christine, you're going to be thrown into the waiting room. I don't know who this Christine is. Whoever you are, you're going to be thrown into the waiting room if your camera is not on. Okay. Victoria, what did you get from that verse? What did you get from that verse? Victoria, what did you get from that verse? Victoria.
No, I'm not done reading.
You're not done reading chapter 15, verse 4. One verse.
But I thought you said I should read the whole thing.
No. I just said chapter 15, verse 4. Okay. Toya, what did you get from that verse? Toya, what did you get from that verse? Toya.
What I got was that if you don't dwell in God's presence and stay with him, he's not going to be with you. You're not going to be connected with him. He's not going to be wherever you are. He's not going to follow you if you're not following him.
Okay. Dami, what did you get from that? Your hand is up. Yes, Dami, talk to me.
What I got was that you cannot live in this world without God. You have to remain in him.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Uriela, what did you get from that verse?
So I got that God doesn't force us to stay connected to him. When we remain in him and stay connected and plugged in to him, that's when he will reciprocate and respond to us. And that's how we remain fruitful.
Thank you so much. Okay, so let Taze read it out. Taze, read it from your verse. Father, as we read your word, we ask that you speak to our hearts. We ask that you open our eyes. And we ask that every single word you're going to say today will renew our minds in Jesus' name. Amen. Taze, read.
Remain in me as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me.
God bless you. Can I have another translation? Who has a different translation? Victoria, read. I want different translations, yes.
So my own says, I am the true vine, and my father is the gardener. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me.
Okay, Jadida, can you read from your translation? I want different translations.
Remain in me, and I in you. Just as a branch is unable to produce fruit by itself unless it remains on the vine, neither can you unless you remain in me.
Thank you. Sharon, please, can you help me read from New NIRV? Thank you. Sharon, NIRV, yes, thank you.
Verse 4.
Yes.
Remain joined to me, just as I also remain joined to you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain joined to the vine. In the same way, you can't bear fruit unless you remain joined to me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, darling. There's a verse, there's a translation I'm looking for. Can you read from Amplified? Yes, Amplified.
Remain in me, and I'll remain in you. Just as a branch can't bear fruit by itself without remaining in the vine, neither can you bear fruit, producing evidence of your faith unless you remain in me.
Okay, yes. Who has a different translation? Who has the translation that's okay? Hilary, read, yes.
Okay, so mine is abide in me and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me.
Thank you. There's a translation I was looking for, and that is why it's important. Told you, you're being distracted. I don't know who's distracting you. And that is why it's always good to use different translations. The Bible was not written for information. It was written for transformation, not information. So anytime you read the Bible, whenever you want to hear God, don't just use a translation. There's a translation that says, completely stay in me. Completely stay in me, and I will stay in you. Only then will you be successful and bear fruit. Now, I want us to please look at this. Everybody look at this. Everybody, can you see this? I want you to understand, because when God speaks, you know God made us. And when God makes you, there is a reason. He knows our makeup, and he knows what it is that he knows everything about us. And he's also the only person, that can tell us how to stay connected, how to grow, how to be successful. Now look at this. This is a chemical. It's a jewel preserver. It's a jewel preserver. Now, I want you to please watch this. I'm not going to use my hand. It's acidic. Now, this is one of my, can you see this? This is one of my most expensive jewels.
If Teacher Nika asks you,
this is one of my most expensive jewels.
Turn on my camera, it's because I don't want to waste my data. Because when I turn on my camera, it uses more of it.
Now, this is one of my most expensive jewels. This is one of my most expensive jewels. But do you know what? I've had this thing, it was given to me like 2 days to my wedding. 2 days to my wedding. It's worth a lot of money now. But do you know the funny thing? If I don't preserve it in this jewel preserver, after like 1 month, you won't believe that is this beautiful thing. If you see it, it's going to go dark and shade. Though it's expensive, the luster, everything will be lost. Now, as long as it remains immersed, as long as it remains completely, now you can see, I keep buying this chemical. When I see the chemical is drying out, I pour in a lot. I have to make sure that the chemical covers the whole body. As long as this jewel stays inside this chemical preserver, I can have this chemical for like 100, I can have this jewel for 100 years. In fact, my plan is to give it to my first daughter when she's getting married, because it was my mom that gave this to me. And when she gave it to me, she told me about this chemical preserver and I bought it. Now, because this thing is completely abiding, in this gold preserver, nothing will happen. Whenever I bring it out, once you see the luster, you see the gold. Now, look, I can also decide to say, oh, I don't have enough money to buy the chemical preserver, and I just buy a little. Maybe part of it is out. Now, if part of this jewel is out and part is inside the preserver, please, what do you think will happen after 1 month between the one inside and outside? What will happen?
The one inside will stay clean and the one outside will rust.
God bless you. I'm telling you the truth. As this thing is worth, I don't know even if it's worth over 700,000 right now. The last time I weighed it, the last time I went to know the value. No matter how expensive it is, once I don't put it immersed completely, if you see this thing in the next 2 weeks, you will not believe it's the same thing. It's going to rough. The color will change. I can't keep part of it out and then part of it inside. No, I can't keep part of it outside and part of it inside. It's either I immerse everything, it's either everything is abiding. It's either everything is abiding inside the jewel preserver or nothing is covered. It is totally, completely immersed. It's just that it's zoomed. You can see, if you see it close to you, it's so beautiful. It has colors. Like if you keep turning it, different colors keeps coming out. And the only way I can retain it, one of the things my mother told me is that if I don't put it in the gold preserver, it's not as if it's going to rust immediately. What happens is that instead of it having like multiple colors, after a while it will have only one single color. It could just be gold or silver. But right now it can turn into different shades. As I wear it, you can see gold, silver, red. That is what it's made of. And when she told me that it cost me money, I won't lie to you. And this is also whenever I travel to Dubai, that is the only time I'm able to buy this gold preserver. So whenever I go to Dubai, no matter what I want to buy, the first thing I buy is to buy gold preserver because I need to keep this immersed. I need to keep this because I know the value. And that is exactly how God is saying that except you abide in me. He said, except you abide in me. So except you're completely immersed in God, you're not going to be the fullest of who God has made you to be. Except you're completely, not that a part of your life is social, a part of your life is spiritual. Every part of you has to be spiritual. And that doesn't stop you from being cool. That doesn't stop you from being beautiful. That doesn't stop you from being who God has made you to be. In fact, it brings out your colors, your talents, your beauty. There's a big thing that God has dropped in my heart to do now. And I'm like, God, how? But these are the things inside of me coming out because I'm completely immersed in God every day. And it's very simple. How do you immerse yourself in God? Thursday, I'm losing you. Thursday, I'm losing you. Thursday, I'm losing you. Every single thing you do, God has to be a part of it. There's no part, I don't know what to write. Stop writing and look at me. Write it in your mind. I need your spirit to hear me. So many people will go to church and we're wondering, how come they go to church and their life is looking like this? Because it's not about going to church. You have to be immersed. You have to abide in him. You have to abide in him. How do you abide in him? You use everything. Every part of your life has to be in God. You use everything at your disposal to stay connected. You use everything at your disposal. Technology, everything, friends. If the friends you have are people that will add value to you, they talk about God, they talk about inspirational things, you are immersed in God. If use technology to not only to do social media, but use it to connect to God, you are immersed in God. In your family, you guys are Christians, you talk about God, you do the right things, you try, you are immersed in God. Not that in school, you have friends that know nothing about God. They don't care about God. They just live their life and you're very happy to be with them. Then when you're at home, you're doing spiritual things. You're not completely immersed. You're not abiding in him completely. Not that you have your phone. You use your phone to connect and do social media, to do so many other things, but you don't use the social gadgets. You don't use all the things to connect to God. You're not completely immersed. You're not abiding in him. So to completely abide in him, my marriage is like 26 years old. I've been married for 26. This was given to me 2 days before my wedding. It's 20, this jewelry. And my mother had it before she handed it over. But because I've been able to preserve it, it's the same thing with your life. You have to be completely immersed in God. You have to be completely immersed. I told you guys about the girl from Lagoon Secondary School. She said, Teacher Neka, 45 minutes every day. She said, on my way to school, I put on my iPhone, and sometimes I'm speaking in tongues on the phone and they're laughing. She said, I don't care. She said, but when I appeared on Oprah talk show, they were following this on my channel. She has a YouTube channel now. And she said that Instagram followers grew by 8,000 a night or so. I can't remember what the full story is. She's immersed in God, and all of the things inside of her are coming out. He said, except you abide in me. So you have to use everything at your disposal. God is a God is a generational God. God is in technology, is everywhere. So you don't live a part of your life. When it's in church, I attend to God. But when I go to school and live my life, God is not there. You're not completely abiding in him. You're not completely abiding. So one of the things we're going to do today, how do I use technology? Technology is one beautiful thing that God has given us in our generation. How do we use technology to immerse in God? How can I use technology to abide in God? This is something, I carry my phone all the time. I'm always on the phone, I'm on social media. How can I use this? Just the way we have so many social media apps, we also have an app that can help us to abide in God. And there are so many little, like for me, Chaneka, you won't believe it. I use YouVersion as if I've never read the Bible before. Because I want to abide in God with everything at my disposal. So we're going to go now to see how we can use the YouVersion app every day, so that whether we are on the go, whether we are at home, wherever we are connected and we are abiding in him. So can we please, or I'm going to start shorting. Can you please be sure your Wi-Fi is on and pick up your phone? I'm going to, do we have our phones ready?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Why is that sound? Please hold on. Okay. Okay. So let me share. Okay. So the first thing I do, can we all go on our phones? Are we on our phones right now? Are we on our phones?
Yes.
Told you, where's your phone? Told you, where's your phone?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so please go click on your YouVersion. You click on the YouVersion. Now, please, when you click, ideally, this is ideally, most times when you click, when you wake up in the morning, please, before you connect with the world, make sure you connect with the word. Before you connect with the world, make sure you connect to God. So most times when you wake up and you click, or most times it's always there for you, you're going to see verse of the day. Even if this is the only thing you do every day. Please, can you mute your speakers? Can you mute your speakers? Even if this is the only thing you do every day, remember we have to abide in him. So use every opportunity and every little thing at your disposal. Now, this is verse of the day. Please, I'm going somewhere. It is not enough for you. Oh, sorry. It is not enough for you to read the verse of the day. The first, can you mute your speaker? There's noise coming from somewhere. I don't know where that noise is coming from.
Paulo, please, can you mute your speaker?
Is she muted?
No.
And I don't want to mute all participants because I want to be talking with people. I'm going to ask some questions. Let's see. Okay. So what you do is now look at the YouVersion for today. Can Tiolua, are you on the verse of the day? Read the verse of the day, Tiolua. Read it out to us. Read the verse of the day.
I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you may have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world.
Exactly. But look at what I want you to do. Anytime you don't go to the verse of the day, please, for it, remember you're going to use everything at your disposal. Don't just read it and go away. For it to stay in your mind, that might be the only Bible verse you will read that day. That might be the only word of God you will hear that day. So you have to make sure it stays in you. This is what you do. Please click on compare notes. Click on compare notes, everybody. You click on compare notes. Everybody click on compare. Have you clicked on compare notes on your phone? Have you clicked on compare notes? Tazia, yes. You look confused. Are you confused? Are you okay?
Like the screen, like what you were sharing was frozen for a bit, so.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to verse of the day. You can see compare versions. Please never only read the translation. Never only read. You have to always, for the verse of the day, you must click on compare versions and read at least 4 versions. By the time you read 4 different versions, that is when it stays. So that even if you do not have time to do any other Bible reading for the day, this particular one has made you to stay connected. When you click on the verse of the day, never, please, I need to say this again, never rush away. Click on compare versions. So I'm going to click on compare versions right now. Please click on your compare version. I click on my compare version. Now different versions are coming out. Now, what if you do not have different versions already on your own new version? Maybe you don't have different versions. Can you see where it says add versions? Can you see where it says add versions? Please, I want you to click on the add versions. Click on the add versions. Now, everybody, there are some versions you must add. I want you to click on NLT. Click on NLT. Click on message. Message is another translation that makes message is MCG, MSG. Click on message. Click on NLT. Click on NIRV and add them to your versions. Click on NIRV. There are so many versions, but you don't have to add all of that. Click on GNT. If you already do not have GNT, click on GNT, Good News Translation. Click on TPT. Look for TPT. Click on TPT. Those are versions that actually helps. It breaks the Bible down. Click on NLT. Click on NIV if you don't have it. Click on NIRV. Click on GNT. Click on message, MSG. Click on TPT. Those are the verses you must have. You must have them because they break them down. Have we done that?
Yes, Miss Snack. Good.
Now, what you have to do, once you've clicked, now you have these verses. So what happens is that when you click on compare notes, every day, any day that you see the verse of the day, take your time to read through 4 different translations. By the time you read at least 4 translations, it stays inside of you. Look at message, for instance. Message is breaking it down completely different from what we read from King James. Look at how message said it. It breaks it down. It brings it down to our everyday understanding. So what am I saying? I'm going to close it now. Anytime you go on verse of the day, whenever you wake up, your version always gives you before you wake up, as long as your phone is on and you're signed on to the version, it gives you a verse of the day. Why? Because they want you to abide in God. They know that life can be very busy. So even if there's nothing else to do during the day, that this is the only verse, you click on it, then you click on compare version. Then you read like 4 versions and then you think about it. That alone can keep you going for the day. That alone can keep you going. So the verse of the day is very, very, very important. Sometimes I read 7 translations. Remember, you cannot do the verse of the day without comparing versions. It helps you stay connected. You're distracted. You're distracted. I want your spirit. Now,
I cannot hear you clearly.
That is one. Now, the next thing you have to do. Now, do you know why you're learning this? Because you're not going to remain the age you are forever. So many of you are going to go to school in a couple of years. So many of you are going to get into secondary school. You're going to get into university. Your life is going to be busy. But no matter how busy life gets, it's not an excuse for you not to connect to the world. Because I know so many of us, I know that daily we go on technology. So many of us, YouTube. There's no day you don't go to YouTube. There's no day you don't go to social media. There's no day you don't go to Netflix. So you must also connect to God. Now, this is the next thing you do with the U version for you to use all the apps. Now, if you look on there, you're going to see more. On the home page, you're going to see more. I want you to please click on the home page. Click on the more. Click, Michael, you're not clicking. I want everybody to click on the more, and you're going to see all the different features. You're going to see all the different features. Good. We've already done highlighting. So everybody understands highlighting. We've done highlights. We're not going to use that. Okay. Now look at the other next thing we have to do.
Wait, excuse me.
Yes?
What should I press to get this?
Let me go back. I said click on more. When you click more, you're going to see the different, click on more. When you click on more, all the features will come out. All the features will come out. We've done verse of the day. I click on prayer. Sometimes I make up prayer, sometimes I don't. Sometimes when I want to pray, when I have a burden about something, I put it there. Another thing you're going to do, which is very important, you can see here, it says prayer reminder. You have to set up a prayer reminder or a Bible reading reminder. These things work. Mine is 11, no matter what I'm doing at home, at 11 o'clock, it pops up and says to me, prayer time. You have to use everything at your disposal. So if I want to change it now, I click here and I change. Right now, I'm changing my prayer time to 9 because it was a holiday. I used to stay up late. The holiday for me is coming over. So 9. Please, I need you to set, if that phone is your phone, set a reminder for your prayer time. Can we set a reminder? Let it not be early hours of the morning because I know you're still sleeping. If it's phone, you are not working on your phone. Set a reminder, please. Set a reminder now. You have to use everything to abide in him. I use 9 p.m. Sometimes I'm gisting downstairs, and once it comes up, I'll say to people, excuse me, have we set the reminder? Have we set the reminder?
Yes, Teacher Leka.
Because you're going to send me a screenshot of your reminders. So it's done. This is gone. It helps you a lot. Sometimes I will say to myself, I'm going to pray. I'll end up not praying at that time. If you really want to abide in God, you have to have a structured life. So I'm going back. I go backwards again. I'm not going to look at events. But one thing I want to beg you, if you really want to grow, somebody like Jedida, I know he's very serious-minded, he's going to do this. If you go to events, you're going to see all the different things, like some of you much later, maybe you're in boarding house, but you have access to your phone, and maybe you want to just feel like you went to church, because sometimes the church in school is not as strong. These are different church services. Look at them, some of them are live. When you click on it, I'm amazed. Look at Proverbs, purpose, gentleness. You can just stay in your room alone and you just abide in him. By the time you finish listening to this message, it will feel as if you went to church for 2 hours. And what are you doing? You're abiding in God. This is events. If you want to go to different Christian events, but you don't want to go there in person, different Christian events, you just click. There's so many, these are messages. When you click on it, that is why you say, oh, you're bored, you don't know what to do with God. When you stay in your God's corner, or you stay in your quiet, Jedida, I'm losing you, you're distracted. Jedida, I'm losing you, I don't know who's talking to you. So you have to, this is very important. Now, it does not matter, you can use these features if you like, you cannot use, but these are important. No, we already did highlights. We did it last week, so we know about it. But there's something else I'm going to show us now that is very important.
Can you run through highlights again? I was around last week. Can you go through highlights again? I was around last week.
Okay, I'll go through highlights again. So now for highlights, let me click on my highlight. Now, when I click on highlights, you're going to see my own highlights. These are the highlights that I, Teacher Neka, have done. This is the ones that I've done, but I'm going to go back to read so that I can explain highlights again. So let me explain highlights, and I'll also use that to teach you community. So I'm going to go back to home. Please, can we go to home? I'm going to home. Click on home. When you go to home, I'm sure you're going to see read, you're going to see plan. When you click on the plan, you're using the reading plan. You want to join any reading plan. But what I want to do now, I don't want to join any reading plan. I just want to read the Bible. So I click on read. I click on read. Now my Bible came to John 14:16, but that's not where I'm reading right now. Look at where I'm reading. I want to go to Nehemiah. So I click on it. I'm going to go back to John. I'll click on that place. So I'm going to Nehemiah. That's currently where I'm reading. So I'm looking for Nehemiah, the book of Nehemiah right now in the Bible. Where's Nehemiah? Have I passed it? Nehemiah, okay. Where is Nehemiah? Okay, this is Nehemiah. You can see Nehemiah. So I click on Nehemiah. I click on Nehemiah. Presently, right now, I'm on verse 4, chapter 4. Okay. Now, but you can see that this is King James. I am not a fan of King James personally, because King James is a bit too advanced. Sometimes I use it when I want to really know the original translation. So what I do is that this is KJV. So I'm going to change it now. So I click on it. I click on it, and all of the Bible verses I have downloaded are here, all the translations. So what I want to use today is NIV. I click on NIV. NIV comes out. So right now, what I'm actually doing now is that I'm going to, like you can see that it's changed to NIV. I'm reading, now somebody said go back to highlights. That's why I'm coming to this. Now when I'm reading, for instance, I'm reading this verse, okay? I'm reading. And I came to this place that says, verse 4 that says, "Here, O God, we are despised, and they turn their reproach upon our head." And I just say to my heart, this is something deep. People have been saying things about me, and this actually touched me. You know what I'm going to do? I click on it. When I click on it, Bible verses, different colors appear. When you get a message that touched you, and you want to remember the message, you use yellow. Oops. You use yellow. You see, that is why I like using only my Bible phone, because when you use any other thing, cancel. They didn't even throw me out. Please give me a second. Okay. So I was on verse 4. I said I really liked verse 4. So I said to myself, I don't want to forget this verse in a hurry. And the prayer he prayed is a prayer I want to pray for all the people that have been despising me. It's something I really learned today. Of all of these verses, this came strong to me. So because I don't want to forget this, is a message, I click on it and I highlight it with yellow. Whenever you get a message, when you're reading the Bible and you get to a point where you don't want to forget what you read, is a message, you click yellow. When you see a command, maybe God says, "Thou shalt not lie." If you see a command, you click red. If you see a promise, "I will make you the head and not the tail. I will make you great," you click with green, you highlight with green. So highlighting is very important. Whenever God promises, when you see a promise made by God in the Bible, you highlight it with green. When you see a command, you highlight it with red. When you read the Bible and you get a Bible message that you don't want to forget, you highlight it with yellow. And that was why I did this, and this I used yellow. So if this was a command, I would have used red. If it was a promise, I would have used green. So this is how you highlight. But now I want you to look at this. The next thing I'm going to do is very, very important. How you have to learn from the community. How you have to abide in, Taze, I'm losing you. Ileri Oluwa, I'm losing you. Taze, I'm losing you. Ileri, I'm losing you. So this is what you do. Now, this is how you get into the community. Remember, Rema is God speaking to us. So what you do is that sometimes when you read the Bible in a day, you're like, I didn't get anything. Can I see what other people got? Because you can also learn from others. That is why you have to belong to a community online. So this is what you do. Please, I need you to see this. Very important. Assuming that this was where I read today, and I really wanted to know more about this verse, and I clicked on it. When I clicked on it, you can see different things coming out. You can see different things coming out. So I moved. You can see related. You can see related. So I click on related. When I click on related, you're going to see me and you're going to see community. I hope you guys are doing the same thing. You're going to see me and you're going to see community. You click on community. You click on community. Now, when you click on community, you're going to see all the different things that so many people have written about that single Bible verse. Do you know that you can stay for like 30 minutes? All you're doing is scroll through and see what other people said about a single Bible verse, and you're going to learn a lot from it. I do this all the time.
Ma, please, where's
Sorry?
the community?
Sorry?
Where's the community?
Okay, I'll go back again. I'll go back again. Now, this is what you do. This is what you do. When you read any Bible, when you're reading any Bible book, for instance, okay, let's assume I'm reading Nehemiah, and I came here. I looked at verse 9. verse 9 says, nevertheless, we made our prayers unto God and set watch against them at night and I said, oh, verse 9 is very deep. Let me hear what people said about it. Thursday, I'm losing you. And I said, oh, verse 9 is very deep. Let me hear what people said about it. I want to learn more I don't want to read the whole verse because it's not about finishing the whole Bible. It's not about finishing the whole Bible, but staying close to one and staying strong to it. So this is what I do. I click on that verse 9. Once I click on it, you can see share came out, image came out, compare came out, different things came out, and then the last thing there is related. Related. So you click on related. When you click on related, you're going to see under it, you're going to see me, and you're going to see community. When you click on me, you're going to see only the Bible verses only the comments that you've made, only the notes you've made. So you click on community. Click on community. Okay, now I've clicked on community. When you click on community, you're going to see all the different Bible verses, all the different things that people have said about this verse. You read one person's own, you go back. You read another person's own, you look at all of this. Just one Bible verse, you're going to see up to 70 things, 70 rema from different people, 70 rema from different people. So you click on each of them. When you click on each of them, it tells you, you read, and then you look at all the different people. Some of them are young people, some of them are pastors, some of them are teenagers. It's so much. Just one Bible verse. And as you keep reading and learning from them, you are actually abiding in God. Because there's some days, some of them are reading, you can say some of them are even, once I see the ones in Spanish, I don't even bother. I just move away because I can't read in Spanish. So each of the ones you go, you click. When you click what the person wrote about their rema and everything comes up, then you go to back. You click on another person's own. It is so educating, it's unbelievable. That is why sometimes you're like, I read the Bible and the Bible is boring. If it is boring to you, go to click on a verse that you really want to learn about. Click on related, click on community. Just that Bible verse alone, hearing what other people said about it is going to keep you engaged for like 30 minutes. You keep clicking. When you click, you open, you read the person's own, you can say, I clicked on this person's own. I've read this is what this person feels. And I go back. I click on back. I go back. This person, this is another person. I click on their own. I open. This person didn't say much. I click. And do you guys understand it so far? I want to be sure you understand me. Do you understand it so far?
Yes.
Because you're going to give me a demonstration. Because most times we're bored, because sometimes the truth is when you read the Bible, to be honest, when you read the Bible, you're like, I don't know. Can everybody go to Proverbs? Let's do a demonstration of entering community. Everybody go to the book of Proverbs. Everybody, can we go to the book of, wait, hold on. When is the next class starting? Oops, I hope the next class is done. When did your class start?
9:15.
When is the next class starting? I hope it's not. Is it 10 or 10:30?
It's 10.
Just give me a second, okay? Let me just, I can't even see. No, I think it's 10:30. Oh my God, it's actually 10. They're already in class. So you guys, you understand this, right? You understand this, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
Yes,
so what is going to happen? I'm going to send the homework right now, okay? So what you're going to do is try and use all the features. The feature that do the verse of the day, you do the other verses, you do the community. Now, whichever one that you liked more than everything, whichever one you like more than everything, the one that made you connect and you really enjoyed more, please work on it and send me. I'm going to send it on the group chat, but I'm going to leave you now. What I want you to do now is please spend time and use all the features on the YouVersion phase. Doing that, you're staying connected. We're going to also send the video to you. We're going to also send the videos to you right after. I'm not going to send it now because I need to enter the other class right after this class. Is that okay? Maybe the next 30 minutes. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
I overshot.
Yes.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys. I'm sorry I have to go now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Teacher
Thank you.
next time.
Bye. Bye.